plans to introduce it to Canada. And of course, our media high tissue PRP, who has just been recently approved by Health Canada, is taking it by storm. It is the most efficient, easy to use, and provides you with the highest concentrations in platelets. So ask me anything about this that you need to know later. And of course, here at NUVIOR, we want to make shopping convenient for you. Right from our NUVIOR website, you can access over 50,000 various SKUs for medical supplies. And I'm Pina Lee, the director here of education for NUVIOR. And I am so honored to be here with you today to share with you my passion and excitement about Cosmelan. Cosmelan is not your traditional peel. It is a beautiful system from Mesoaesthetics, and they are the leaders in depigmentation around the world. Now, before I tell you about how awesome Cosmelan is, I do want to do a little bit of background on melanin-based pigmentation. As our technology improves, as our global world improves, one thing that is evident around the world, and it is that skin pigmentation, hyperpigmentation in particular, is a global concern. It doesn't matter what ethnic group, what photo skin type you are, 90% of all people over the age of 50 have some type of melanin-based hyperpigmentation issue. It is one of the most common reasons why people visit a cosmetic professional. And it isn't just easily covered up with makeup. People are suffering from issues that have such a negative impact on their quality of life. They don't want to leave the house. But let's figure out what melanin is. Melanin is the tiny color particles that give our skin, our hair, and our eyes the color we have. And it's produced in these little factories at the bottom of our epidermis, which is the first part of the skin. And those melanocytes, they work every day to produce that color and to spread it to the rest of the skin. Now, when melanogenesis works properly, that melanin is evenly distributed through those skin cells to produce an even color. However, thousands of places in that melanogenesis process can pose a risk of something going wrong and melanin being overproduced. And not only going up, but going down into the dermis too. So as those melanocytes in that basal layer produce melanosomes, which are the packages that help deliver that color to the rest of the skin. And when that happens, it produces issues from freckles to big blotches to uneven skin tone. So basically, this is what it looks like in the cross section of your skin. There's your melanocyte creating its melanin within those melanosomes, and then it delivers it through those dendrites up to those cranocytes, your skin cells. And that melanin covers up and shows up in the surface of our epidermis. Now, here are our 6 photo skin types. As you can see, from skin type 1 all the way to Fitzpatrick skin type 6, we all have melanin. Now, we all are made with about the same number of melanocytes, but our melanin activity is quite different from the paler skins to the darker skins. And we know that when we're in the sun, it reacts different, and therefore it's going to produce different amounts of melanin depending on that skin type. When you're comparing the differences between that lighter skin and that darker skin, you're going to notice, of course, the number of melanocytes are the same. However, that activity of that melanocyte is much lower in the whiter skins. Hence, they don't have much dark color. And in the darker skin, it's greater. When you're dealing with it, that lighter skin is going to be more sensitive to the UV radiation burning quickly because they don't have that melanin to absorb that UV light and protect them from burns and damage. So that is one of the advantages of those higher or darker phototype skins. That melanin is used to protect us so they don't have as many visible breakdown in the skin from that sun. However, they are at greater risk of hyperpigmentation. So this is what it looks like under the skin. That UV light can get through now faster and do more damage. And that's why the lighter photo skin types tend to need more anti-aging treatments as they age and their collagen and elastin breaks down. With that darker skin type, that melanin is used to block and absorb that UV light that comes into the skin, causing that skin to stay much more youthful in its appearance. However, that pigmentation can definitely become an issue. Now, that's the basics of melanogenesis. And of course, there's lots of signals and lots of messages from all over the body to that melanocyte that creates that melanin. And the things we must consider as beauty professionals, as well as health professionals, is that the triggers that stimulate hyperpigmentation are internal and external effects. So, of course, we cannot control genetics. We can't make someone's skin change colors by programming its DNA. Well, not me, I'm just an esthetician. However, there are these internal and external factors that we as professionals can advise our clientele on how to treat. For example, sun exposure. How much exposure do we get? It is accumulative. So that 5 minutes outside here and 2 minutes out to the car there, it adds up. Aging. One thing I've learned in my 50 plus years is aging isn't fun. Aches, pains, and saggy skin, all the thinning of the skin, and of course, the pigmentation shows up. The sins of our past show up as we age. Our genetic tendencies. So if your mom and her aunt and down that line is prone to a certain skin condition, you may also be. And of course, good old hormones. When those hormones fluctuate, you're going to have a plane on that melanogenesis process for many skins. Inflammatory processes where the skin is inflamed due to an injury, due to a condition or a procedure, and then that inflammation cascade occurs and melanogenesis is activated. Of course, I feel that society in general, there's a lot of medication out there, and a lot of us don't realize that even our simple prescriptions or even our supplements are causing our skin to be more photosensitive in that sun. And the exposure to all the chemical agents from our perfumes and essential oils to pollution in home and in our environment. So when we're talking the sun is one of the primary causes of hyperpigmentation. It directly triggers that melanogenesis process. That UV triggers that hormone to get that melanocyte start working and produce melanin. So what is it going to do? More exposure to sun is going to darken existing color, whether they're freckles, solar damage, or even your melasma and post hyperinflammation. It's all going to be darkened in the sun. And that is for all phototypes across the board. And as I said, when we age, all our sparks start to connect and we start looking like a giraffe. We will see it on our face and our décolleté with the poplioderma, our hands and shoulders. Everywhere that's exposed to the sun is going to show up those sins of our past in the sun. And that inflammation process. That inflammatory process is for every skin, for every color and age group. Whether it is an injury, as I said, you can damage skin a billion ways. However, the skin can only react a certain way. And that is to call in those 911 first responders, blood, white blood cells, inflammation occurs, and that is how the skin deals. So if you have constant inflammation happening on the skin, you're going to cause melanin to start being produced. And that we call PIH, or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And this again is more prevalent on that darker skin, those higher phototypes. However, any skin can get this. Genetic tendencies, freckles. I love freckles. Obviously, they're more frequent in that fair skin, even redheaded faces. However, you can deal with those freckles if you don't want them around. And as I said earlier, your photosensitizing drugs, even things like your ibuprofen, your antihistamines, your high blood pressure medication, and your antibiotics, they can cause hyperpigmentation in many skins. And then we become more sensitive. We go outside, run out to that car, go grab the mail, and that sun gets us. So you really need to advise your clients that if you are taking medication and using anything that's going to exfoliate the skin, renew the skin, regenerate the skin, that you have to be mindful that you are more sensitive in that sun. Lotions, deodorants, essential oils, especially your citruses and your perfumes, they can cause phototoxicity in that skin of exposure. And for some women, you'll even get hypopigmentation, where they spray their perfume on and then go outside. So it's really important to be mindful of how you use these products rather than putting them directly on the skin. Perhaps on the clothes is a better idea, or sunscreen after you apply. And this goes for all your phototypes. Hormonal changes. We all know that dreaded word melasma, and for many professionals, we have spent our careers trying to rid or at least control melasma, because you really can't get rid of it. So whether your client gets it from birth control, pregnancy, or any other medication they're on, this can change the hormones and then produce melasma. It is more common in women. However, it is in the skin of males as well. So Cosmelan, what can we treat? We can treat all melanin-based pigmentation that is located in the epidermis of the skin. So your melasma, your post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, your solar or senile lentigos that are your small freckles or your larger age spots, and of course, your ephelides or freckles that you're born with. So let's go into what they look like. Melasma, this is a tricky skin condition as you can't cure it. It's based in hormones. So basically, you are managing melasma. I like to think of melasma, a treatment of melasma, just as you would treat diabetes or thyroidism. You're going to control it, keep it at bay, push it down, and it's constantly going to be there. Now, who does it affect? It affects obviously mostly women. It is going to present on the skin very uniformly, very symmetric. If it's here, it'll probably be here. And it also looks much more shadowy. It doesn't really have a defined border, and it can be on the face, all over, and even the neck. When you're talking post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or HIP, we are talking about those brown spots that come from something that was there before. So you have your primary injury, whether it was a waxing error or a burn in a medical aesthetics treatment, even, scraping on something that causes your primary lesion, and then it gets hit by the sun, it gets heated up, and then we have hyperpigmentation. That constant inflammation causes that development of that melanin. So whether it's from the skin injuries or stress and burns or cosmetic treatments, whatever it is, if it's in the epidermis, Cosmelan can treat it. So these kind of injuries are going to be localized to where that primary injury is. It can be on the face or on the body. Your solar lenticosinos are your larger sun damage. So they're oval. They can be on your hands, on your body, mostly, you've got big spots. And these are going to be very well defined. They are from photoaging. They will appear as we get older, and they will get darker in the sun. So you're going to see this in both men and women. Usually those that have spent a lot of time in the sun, especially without sun protection. And then our solar lentigos are our little ones. So our solar freckles. And they, again, will be because of genetics and triggered by the sun and get darker. And of course, ephelides are the freckles that you're born with. And those two will get darker in the sun. They are very symmetrical. They are defined. I love them. Those want to get rid of them. We can help you. So when you are treating with Cosmelan, one of the things I must stress is you need to do a very thorough consultation. Your candidate for that Cosmelan treatment is someone who has experience with medical grade ingredients, understand the healing process of a medical aesthetic treatment where there's tightness and tingling and, yes, I dare say burning the skin and tightening and darkening and peeling. They need to be familiar because we are going to be restructuring that whole epidermis again over that 6-month program. So you need that client to understand it is an intense program. But as the professional, you need to understand what you're treating and where that pigmentation is. So I do strongly suggest that you invest in a tool that can help you diagnose that skin. Simple Woods lamp that I remember dearly from school and still own is a fabulous tool, as is the beautiful Visages and all those other devices, or a good mag lamp and a good eye. So you do need to understand that when pigmentation appears in the skin, it can be at many levels of the skin. Cosmelan by Mesoaesthetic is designed to treat all pigmentation in the epidermis. So what does it mean for pigmentation to be in the epidermis? Well, when you look with your UV light, that pigmentation is going to appear very dark, very prominent. When that pigmentation looks shadowy and very dull in the background, that means it's deep down, far into the skin. So the darker it appears, the more superficial, and the deeper, when it sits deeper, it will appear very core luminosity. You won't be able to see it as well. What you cannot treat with Cosmelan. Cosmelan is an incredible tool for hyperpigmentation, but it is just a tool. It's not a magic wand. So you will not be able to treat any hyperkeratinized or hypertrophic pigmentation. So your seborrheic keratosis, your NDPs, your skin tags, or other keratosis or fibromas, they're raised and they're not melanin based. They do have color, but that's keratin. So there are other devices and treatments for that. Your scars. Scars, especially your keloid, leave that to your PRP. Phedia does a beautiful job on that. Your nevis and your angiomas, your spider venous, that's vascular. So leave that to another kind of device. And of course, if there is a lesion or a spot that looks suspicious to you, when in doubt, don't. Send them to go see their medical professional, get the okay on treating that area, and then proceed. And of course, unfortunately, we cannot help with hypopigmentation, such as vitiligo. And just as any treatment that's going to rejuvenate or renew that skin continuously, there are other contraindications to the treatment, such as people that have a tan or have a burn. Get rid of that. Let that melanin process relax. Let those melanocytes take a break, then proceed with the treatment. If your client is pregnant, thinking about being pregnant, breastfeeding, lactating, they're in a hormonal nightmare. Let them do their thing. And then once their hormones have balanced and aren't fluctuating because of pregnancy and lactation, then they can return to you and have their Cosmelan treatment. If your client is on Accutane or hydroquinone especially, please wait. Be safe. Don't rush. Get their skin off of that and then introduce the Cosmelan. With antibiotics, I would say check with the doctor because you can do it as long as the client is well aware of that photosensitized issue that they need to be very responsible and compliant with protecting their skin. Of course, open skin, bacterial or viral fungal infections, if they suffer from herpes, get them on their medication beforehand, but you don't want to risk a breakout. And we don't recommend using Cosmelan with any other treatment for chemical peels or hair removal while they are on Cosmelan. They can do threading. That is an acceptable hair removal practice during the Cosmelan process, but that's it. And of course, you really want to make sure that candidate is aware they have realistic expectations and they don't have openings in their skin. I always say when you're dealing with Cosmelan, the better prepared that skin is, the better experience that client will have on their Cosmelan journey. So that means well hydrated, healthy barrier, free of open lesions. Okay. So this is what your Cosmelan treatment looks like. This is our Cosmelan pack. and it includes your office treatment as well as the first portion of the home protocol. As we reviewed, you have all these triggers that emphasize and start off and kickstart that melanogenesis process. Add in those wicked little creatures called free radicals, and now you're going to have hyperpigmentation. So those tyrosinase uses the copper to create the dopamine and the dopaquinone, and boom, boom, science, man, and melanin. Okay. What Cosmelan's going to do for you, it works on different levels. So unlike your traditional chemical peel where it just removes the surface of the skin and we hope for renewal, lightening, and spreading, we are going to go down to the base of that epidermis where all the action is going on. And Cosmelan is firstly introduce a
as much. So now the order for that melanin has been reduced. So there's less melanin being produced. And then those dendrites that work like a port of exit and delivery system for those melanosomes carrying that melanin, well, there isn't as many because now we don't have amounts of melanin as we once did, reducing it every step of the way. So now less melanocytes are being delivered and less melanin at the surface. And at the surface, we're also spreading, we are working on that stratum corneum to renew it, to get rid of that buildup of excess melanin. So it's working on every level of melanogenesis. So I always tell my clients, take this gorgeous information and this cute little diagram, put it in your speak so your clients understand you, and then they can get a clear picture. And if you want some ideas, please reach out. I'm more than happy to help you come up with wording for your clients. So let's talk about the Cosmelan method. It is actually a home protocol plus your in-office treatment. So it consists of 4 phases. That first phase is your one-time office treatment, where you are going to perform the treatment that includes degreasing the skin and applying your Cosmelan mask. This is a very intensive depigmenting treatment, and the client will wear that mask home. Yes, I said that. They will wear their treatment mask home. So plan it early in the day, let them go home, and that is just a chill day. After 48 to 72 hours of allowing that skin to recover from that intense depigmentation treatment, we will start the home protocol, which consists of 3 phases. The first phase is that for 1 month, where we are going to continue that depigmenting process, where we're going to continue to gradually, on a daily level, reduce that melanin deposit. Phase 3, which consists of 2 months, is where we're going to regulate how much pigmentation is being created in that melanogenesis process. So taking it one step further than any other treatment available for depigmentation. And then in that final phase, phase 4, which consists of 3 months, this is where it is important to complete the program and prevent that reappearance risk of that pigmentation. We're stopping that bounce back. And what I always tell my clients, teach your clientele that Cosmelan is very similar to when you use an antibiotic. When you use an antibiotic, you must complete that course of treatment in order to get the results of getting rid of your infection, like your ear infection. If you stop using the antibiotics on day 3 of 10 because you feel better and the infection is cleared, that's great. But don't be surprised when that infection comes right back, because you did not allow that process to happen. So just like in Cosmelan, your clients will see dramatic results in weeks. However, to maintain and prevent that return of pigmentation, it is vital for them to complete the entire home protocol. So let's take a closer look at the stars of this treatment. First, we have our Cosmelan 1, and this is a treatment mask for one client. So you will use the entirety of the jar on the face, and Cosmelan is indicated for the face. It looks and feels like peanut butter. It's nice and smooth. You're going to apply it, rub it in those spots. I like to get it going like a little kickstart. So rub it in with your gloved fingers and then smooth it out and send your client home with a hat and glasses. They will wear this from 8 to 12 hours, depending on their color of skin and skin type. Here are all the delicious treatment actives. And as you can see, they are some heavy hitters. We have beautiful AHAs and BHAs to help with that exfoliation process, to help that melanogenesis process, inhibiting certain things along the way. So you can see with all these gorgeous acids, azelaic, kojic, we have phytic acid. We also have your salicylic, so it's going to be spicy. And that also means any clients who are allergic to aspirin cannot have this treatment. We have removed the hydroquinone, which it did contain many years ago, and we have replaced that with our alpha arbutin, which is as effective as hydroquinone. However, it does not irritate the skin, and it is plant-based. We also have our retin palmitate, so you even have some vitamin A, and you got your vitamin C. So if you got your thinking caps on, these are great ingredients for anti-aging as well. So definitely, as a beautiful side effect of getting rid of your pigmentation with Cosmelan, you're also going to have an anti-aging effect too. This is how you decide how long to have your client wear their mask. So this chart is our exposure time or contact time of your mask. It is split into across the top with our rows for skin type: dry skin, normal to oily skin, and or combination, and then your oily skin. Down the columns, it is grouped in phototypes. So your lighter skins, types 1s and 2, 3 and 4s, your medium skins, and then your darker skins, your 5s and 6s. So as you can see, just like most products, the drier your skin is, the more dehydrated your skin is even, the faster products will penetrate and they will require less contact time. As the skin is oilier, as there is more melanin, darker skins will have a longer exposure time. So please remember to schedule your clients in the morning rather than late at night, or you'll be getting a call when they're removing their mask. And you don't want your client sleeping in your mask. So this is definitely an AM treatment. They go home, they wear their mask, and they will remove it at their prescribed time. And in their take-home box that you will find right here in that Cosmelan pack is the client's first Cosmelan home pack. And within that, you'll have your card. So please write down your name and phone number for your client to call you if they have any questions or concerns. And here is where you will write down the time to remove the mask, and followed by their office visits for their check-ins. Then they will start their home protocol. So in that first pack, they will get these 3 beautiful products that will continue their treatment. And it is a continuation of the treatment. So as I said, that first phase at home, phase number 2, is 1 month long, and it continues the depigmentation. You will see that the application of the actives is morning and midday plus a PM. So for that first month, they're going to do it around 7 a.m., 6, whatever time they get up. Then in the mid-afternoon, if they can't do it at work, as soon as they get home, and then before bed. Every time they use that Cosmelan 2, they're going to follow it up with the cream to manage those skin reactions. And of course, the most brilliant sunscreen ever created, the Melan 50 Plus. So Cosmelan 2, it looks and feels just like Cosmelan 1 because it is the same formulation, except this concentration is much lower for the ability to use it on a daily basis. That mask in treatment, there's no way you can use that daily. So same gorgeous ingredients. They are going to use very little. So just remove a little bit of that cream with your spatula from the pot, close it up tight, and use it every day, 3 times a day for that first month. And then you're going to follow up with Melan Recovery. This is a gorgeous balm. I use it all the time when I use lots of actives on my skin because I'm an oily, old, mature, sensitive skin. So if I'm using my retinols with my skin retin or spicy products, I will follow it up with Melan Recovery. I love it after I do my waxing on myself, my daughter, after a treatment where the skin is irritated. If you're sensitive, this is gorgeous. And the reason why I love it is because it has a regulatory power in it, which means if you're worried about post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, this is the cream to help soothe the skin. And of course, it has niacinamide, bismol. It's got beautiful marine extracts and our shea butter. So calm, soothe, reduce that irritation, taking away that sting. And honestly, I've been in this industry over 20 years. I love, love, love this Mesoprotect Melan 50. Around the world, it is called Melan 130, but here in Canada, it is recognized as Melan 50 Plus. It has 2 creams in one. So not only does it provide you with the world's best sunscreen, UVA, UVB, plus IR, so that heat from the sun, it even protects you from the light that's emitted from your computers and screens. So for all those office workers that you have that say, I don't need sunscreen, I'm never outside when the sun is out, we want to protect you from that high emitting visible light, the HEV. So please use this gorgeous sunscreen. And for all your clients who have a risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, this is their sunscreen because it provides an anti-spot protection. So not only does it give you the world's best sunscreen, with chemical and organic or non-organic mineral components. It also gives you a hyperpigmentation protection. And it has a brilliant universal tint in it that I've seen firsthand works on every Fitzpatrick skin, right from a 1 to a 6. Now, granted, on that skin type 6, it does take a few minutes for that cast to dissipate, but men, women, 1s to 6s, awesome, awesome sunscreen for those worried about hyperpigmentation. So it's got both, as I said, your mineral and your chemical filters. But I got to tell you, I use it daily, reapply it daily, and I don't get melius from it. And that was always one thing I had with my sunscreens. I'm very picky. So here's your protocol. In phase 3, so the second phase that starts in month 2, your clients will reduce that application of the actives by removing that midday. So now it's easy. They've had to stay up late to do that first month. Fine. It's over. The worst is over. Now you're back to a regular morning and night application. Every time you use your actives, you follow up with the Melan recovery. And of course, during the day, your Melan 50. At that midday, for a lot of clients, they still have that irritation, the redness, that tenderness. Use your Melan recovery as much and as often as you need it. And of course, reapply every 2 hours, inside or out. In the evening, you follow up with that active and of course, your sunscreen. What's gorgeous here in months 2, 3, and 4, or 2 and 3, we are regulating. We are teaching that melanocyte and that whole melanogenesis process how to be more regulated, not producing mass amounts and depositing it as it was before. That final phase, phase 4, includes the months 4, 5, and 6 of your protocol. So that's the final stage. And this is where it's so important to get your clients to stay compliant. This is where we're going to stop that bounce back. Now, in many countries, we will actually leave our clients on this protocol for another 6 months. So in England and parts of South Africa, they do Cosmelan as a 1-year treatment. We in Canada recommend that if you need to with certain clients, yes, keep them on the program, but we follow Spain's protocol of 6 months. Now, one thing I do like to do here in my final phase at home for those clients with that stubborn or they have that lifestyle that doesn't allow those triggers to be managed properly, I like to double up on my depigmentation. So in that final phase, they're only applying the Cosmelan 2 in the evening. So in this morning phase, I like to add some of the mesoaesthetic products to complement that depigmentation. And I will be speaking about those later. But you can put in more depigmentation, put in your vitamin C's, other AHAs and BHAs, and beautiful acids to encourage that brightening, to sustain that depigmenting. So here it is, all on one screen, the complete Cosmelan protocol. As we said, it has a 1 in-office treatment for the application of your mask. The client wears it home. After the next 2 to 3 days, we're going to begin with that home protocol. That first month is that intense treatment time where we're continuing to gradually depigment daily. So we're going to use those actives 3 times a day. Then we're going to step down in our second month where you will use those actives twice a day, morning and night, for the next 2 months. And the final phase, phase 4, is 3 months long, and we use the actives once a day in the evening. So we call it our step program, stepping up 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then stepping down 3 times, 2 times, once a day. Now, everyone needs and has a best friend, and so does Cosmelan. And Cosmelan's best friend is the anti-stress mask. Now, with any kind of treatment at home, I do like to recommend a mask for that client. And this is the mask of choice for Cosmelan. It's our anti-stress mask. Gorgeous for anyone with red skin. It's going to soothe and that irritation and sensitivity. If you are doing injectables or treatments that cause bruising, pair up that anti-stress with our crystal fiber mask. Beautiful for bruising. However, anti-stress mask with the Cosmelan Journey can be used weekly. It can be used dailies. And for those clients who, oh, it's too strong, you can even have them use it in between their active applications. So use it as much as needed. And for your Cosmelan Journey, for other skin irritations, we now have one of my favorite products to Canada is our Skin Balance. And Skin Balance is a gorgeous serum for any sensitized or sensitive skin. So whether it's rosacea or local skin reaction from Cosmelan, Skin Balance, 2 to 3 drops is all you need. With this beautiful panthenol and the gorgeous extracts from our flowers and saffron and aloe vera and the beautiful marine extracts, this is the best first responder I have seen with irritated skin, and I absolutely love it and recommend it for every treatment room and for any client with sensitized or sensitive skin. The little blue bottle, it's sitting on my counter right now. I love this guy. You need to have hydration. Hydration is one of the biggest issues for every skin out there. And when you're on Cosmelan, the more dehydrated you are, the more of those skin reactions you will experience. So I do recommend clients have a few drops over their Cosmelan 2 to help manage hydration. When it comes to flaking, if they have a specific thing that really bugs them, they can't wear their makeup because their skin is flaking too much, we do have our fast skin repair. For most clients, 2 fingers, tepid water, and just some light gommage will control flaking. But for some clients, there is excessive flaking, and we do have our fast skin repair for that. As they go into that Cosmelan Journey, in that middle phase, phase 3, I like the protoglycogen ampules. These are fabulous. They are like the hangover ampule that helps to nourish that skin, give that skin that nourishment it needs to do its job. So it's going to help with that hyaluronic acid and vitamin C and vitamin F. Because they're in ampules, they're gorgeous to be treatment cream ampules. So they can bust it open with the beautiful tools that are included in the package, cap it on, and use half or a third of it as they need, and they can use it over the next couple of days. Beautiful way to manage that irritation. And for anyone who needs an extra nourishment, of course, we need some hydration. Our Hydra Vital K Factor K is gorgeous. It gives you that lactate, so another depigmenting, lightening, brightening, hydrating. It's got that alkaline and urea and vitamin E. Just beautiful feel on the skin. And a weekly treat with I love, and I said for that bruising, pair this one up with your Milan Recovery. And this gorgeous crystal fiber mask is just a beautiful treat. It helps to calm and soothe and hydrate that skin. So what will your clients expect from Cosmelan? Well, within the first few weeks, by day 15, your client will notice visible depigmentating of the skin. Their skin will be smoother and more even, and it's going to have brightness. It's going to have that anti-aging effect because you can't use that many gorgeous acids for that long and not look amazing. And of course, Mesoaesthetic is based in science. They are the pioneers, and they have all the documents you need to show your client that it works. Here we can see that with Cosmelan, it reduces melanin levels by 81.2%. And right here is a melanocyte live here. And you can see by using Cosmelan for just 2 days, 48 hours, how much that activity has decreased in that melanocyte. And the proof is in the pudding. Here are some beautiful real life treatment clients from Spain. And this is just after 90 days. And that's why I say it's so important to keep your clients compliant, because they are going to get great results and they're going to want to stop after 15 days. Their melasma is visibly lighter, but underneath we know it's still there. So like an antibiotic, keep your client on, because here 180 days in and she's looking fantastic. Even in her face, the skin texture looks much better. 60 days in, melasma. There is an answer for us. And that poor hormonal breakout that leaves the skin ravaged. This will help you with all hyperpigmentation in that epidermis. And again, I don't know why people want to get rid of their freckles, but here you go. Nice clear face. And it doesn't matter the skin tone, the phototype, as long as it is a melanin-based hyperpigmentation like this caused by acne, we will be able to treat it. And she doesn't have to wake up anymore and cover all those spots. She just has to put on her creams and leave the house. So here's your journey. The client will come in for that intensive treatment. They will follow up a few times. This is where you're going to take your pictures, replenish their home protocol products. And in those final months, you can even bring them in for a hydrating treatment. And when you get your pictures taken, you can create a beautiful photographic record as the one you see here. I like to ask the clients to take a picture every day so we can do those gorgeous flipping and see that change, because melanogenesis is a process. So as they go through their 6 months journey, that pigmentation is going to get darker and lighter and darker until we start controlling it, regulating it, and then keeping it back. And then by the time they're done, they're going to have beautiful results. 81% reduction. So we do want to hold your hand here at NUVIOR. So the education team, the marketing team, and the sales team is all here to hold your hand. And we provide you with information as well. This gorgeous infographic follow-up will help you track your clients, know what they're going through, what you should do to help them out, and what steps to follow. And we take you right through all the way to day 240 at the end of your 6 months. Now, once they're off their Cosmelan, as I said, melasma is not something you can cure. So those are the clients that are going to require assistance. And I love the Milan Tren 3X concentrate and its gel cream. In that final phase of Cosmelan is where I like to add this as their AM with the cream. And why I love this product is because it has tranexamic acid, and that's going to work like a shield. So you've got all those beautiful Cosmelan 2 ingredients doing their job down here at the melanocyte, working at those dendrites and rejuvenating the top. Now we're going to add in that Milan Trans concentrate, and it's going to act like a shield at that melanosome junction where they leave the dendrites and just stop them from going. And it also does a beautiful job on that vascular induced pigmentation in melasma. Still has the gorgeous lightening agents, so a beautiful complement to the Cosmelan 2 in the evening. Pair it up with that Milan Trans 3 gel cream if the skin can take it. And this will give them that extra boost in that final month. And as I said, the client can definitely remain on Cosmelan 2. I mean, why not? Throw in an ampule or throw in a serum with it and maybe a hydrator, and you've got every ingredient there to help you anti-age and keep pigmentation at bay. So for those clients that want to use it every few days a week or go on, say, once for a month, daily and evening, go for it. It's safe and acceptable to use Cosmelan 2 as your maintenance cream long term, if the skin can handle it. And new to Canada as well is our Skin Retin 0.3. Now, don't let that name fool you, because this is a fabulous retinol product from Mesoaesthetic. It takes retinol and bakuchiol to provide you with a effective, beautiful wearing and non-irritating retinol product that is perfect for all skin types. I challenge you to put this against any of your retinols that you are currently using and then tell me if I wasn't right, because I think I am. Skin Retin by Mesoaesthetic is amazing. And of course, new to Meso is our Age Element line. They've revamped it, 7 years to develop the Pro treatment. And we've got a gorgeous C. I love amplifying the Cosmelan journey with the C's, because your vitamin C is your Titan. It brightens, it tightens, it lightens. So in that morning application again, or after Cosmelan, or preparing for Cosmelan, this Age Element Brightening Complex Plus is fantastic because it is a shock treatment. You can't use it until you press it in together and activate it, and then you'll use it up in that first week. And there's 4 bottles for your month. So beautiful. And of course, AO Ferulic, that gives you your ferulic acid and your C. Gorgeous in the daytime or afterwards. So to conclude, Cosmelan is your treatment. It is the leader in pigmentation. It will clear the skin of all melanin-based pigmentation, 81% reduction of your melasma, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, your solar and your ephelites. Clear skin for all skin types. And I would like to thank you for joining us today. If you need any more information, please reach out to me. You can email me, text me, or call. And as a thank you for joining us today on this sunny, kind of sunny Monday afternoon, I'd like to offer you, as a token appreciation, go to our website, use this QR code, and fill out our survey, and you will receive a 5% promotional coupon that works for your entire order, no matter what promotion is on, no matter what sale is going on. And for everyone, if you don't own a clinic, but you are an employee of a clinic, go in and open up your own account under your own name. You will have access to all our retail products at clinic pricing. And with this promotion, as a thank you, you get 20% off one of your items. So please take advantage of our promotion, save yourself a little bit of money, enjoy Cosmelan, and I will put up my contact information again for you. And at this time, I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, I will unmute you now so you can ask questions, or if you prefer to write them in the chat. So if you do want further information, if you would like a personal education session with myself or with Kyla, our Western Canada representative, please let me know. Kayla, she'll kill me. No questions? All right. Well, for everyone here at NUVIOR, I am Pina Lee, and I thank you for joining us and invite you to join us again next week. Oh, not next week, because it is a holiday here in Ontario. Join us our following week when we're talking retinol. Have a great day, everyone.